Yee! I am a witch making a evil spooky brew for Halloween. First I throw in some gore and I also throw in a knife for killing. I throw in the blood of the innocent. And what's this? Newt's eye. And are you trying to spook me with your booze?
This is just a shit fucking intro.
Oh, boy, you booing me like boo. Or were you saying boo earns?
The first one.
Oh, rats. It's happy Spooktober, everybody. It's the month for the moths to come out. Is that a thing? Are moths?
I don't think that's true.
Really tied with?
It's getting too cold. I think the moths are dead, to be honest.
Oh, what about bats? Spooky bats.
Bats?
They probably already started hibernating. It's already snowed here where we record, so.
I think it was hailing today, too. But
well, hail and well met, everyone. All of my ghouls and goblins out there.
This is Featurecast.
It sure
is. What do we talk about on this little
We're doing
cast?
A real ramshackled house, like little bits and pieces put together of sort of somewhat connected to spooky movie topics, and we've created a Frankenstein of an episode. It's a little dead. And we're gonna hope to shock some lightning into it and bring it back to the life. And yeah,
That's it. But before we get there, let's introduce ourselves. I'm David.
And I'm Ethan.
And
wait, could we have
Ethan.
spooky names? My name is Eekthin. Eekthin.
I'm just gonna still be David.
Oh. What about Deadvid?
No, I don't want to be dead.
Deadvid. And we're keeping it in, going to the intro. There we go. Get to the intro. Yeah. Roll it.
Recorded from deep within the great lakes of the internet live. Two men buried under bad movies and popcorn try their best to survive. But how long could that possibly last? Find out as you join Ethan and David in this episode of Featurecast.
Was that too much energy right away?
I think so, because I'm tired. I need to take like a nap.
Can I still
Either
call
a
you
nap-
Deadvid?
Nope, I don't want to. Nope. I wanted to do like a Dracula themed name, like Dravid.
Dravid. The dreaded Dravid.
Ooh, I do like that. I do. You know what? I'm gonna change my name tag.
Did you?
If I
Hey,
have
did
one.
you like my impression? Well, wait till you
That was-
hear these first impressions,
Ooh.
and that's a segue.
So first impression is a movie that either of us have seen for the very first time. Not twice, not 3 times, but 1 time.
Absolutely, just the once. A lot of times they're new movies. Sometimes they're not.
They are generally new movies, but if they aren't new movies and they're older movies, they generally fall into our backlog section, which is a classic movie that we have kind of just been sleeping on.
Or
for a little bit.
contemporary. It's just things that, that have been on our radar for a while, and we just have finally gotten around to seeing them. And David, I know I mention this every week. Fucking bangers. They're all good. The
backlog?
backlogs are so good.
My backlog was my first questionable disappointment. So
Oh, that's
that's
too
okay.
bad. I fucking watched them. Maybe I just watch great movies. Well, not if my first impressions have anything to tell you. Do you wanna kick off first impressiones?
Totally. So I saw Ang Lee's latest film, Gemini Man, starring 2 Will Smiths and Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Will
And then
Smith
also
and
Clive
Sil
Owen.
with.
No.
Wait,
just
I didn't
double Will
even
Smith.
know that Mary Elizabeth Winstead and
I
Clive Owen
legitimately,
were in this.
I knew Clive Owen was in this, but I didn't realize that was Mary Elizabeth Winstead for like the longest time. And then I was like, holy shit, it is her. So Gemini Man follows a hitman who, when we open up the movie, is doing his last hit before retirement. And after he retires, he finds out some shit about his last hit, and then he has young Will Smith sent after him. And basically the whole thing with this movie is it's Will Smith versus Will Smith.
Can
Kind of like Looper?
Kind of, but nowhere near as smart and super basic, like CIA Black Ops kind of like, how could we do that?
Now, Ang Lee likes to push technical boundaries. Did you watch this in high frame rate 3D
I did
XD
see this.
LOL surround sound?
I did see this in the high frame rate 3D
XD
version of it,
LOL
which-
surround sound?
No, I know. I think I didn't pay the extra $12 for that part. I did see it in the high frame rate, which I personally liked. I normally stay away from 3D movies. I have not liked a single 3D movie since Avatar, and even that kind of gave me a headache. But this one was really impressive. And the high frame rate, although it may not work for every sequence, I think for the action sequences, it worked really well. And that's really all I can say positive about this movie, is that the action sequences were fun. I thought the story was extremely generic. I didn't care that much about the characters. Like, Will Smith is obviously fun. Mary Elizabeth Winstead is cool, but Clive Owen as a villain is just... Clive Owen is kind of... He's somebody who has these moments where he surprises me with his films. Like Children of Men, I think he's really good there. But I just don't know what he's doing with his career. Overall, I think it's a solid action movie that I would only ever see on the big screen, because I think this on a smaller screen would be kind of boring. I mean, part of the fun... The positive of these action scenes is seeing it on that big screen in that high frame rate. And that's Gemini Man. It's not very good. I didn't even want to see this. I was just kind of bored on a Thursday night, and I was like, fuck it, I'll go see Gemini Man.
That sounds about right. I also saw something pretty dark. Something in the shadows.
Oh?
I saw the new Todd Phillips film, Joker. And, you know, as everyone knows, Todd Phillips, funny man, you know, he's doing Old School, and he's doing hangover movies. So you're going to go in and you're like, oh, the movie's called Joker. I bet it's going to be a goof and gag a minute. No, I'm going to bust my gut till Sunday morn. Well, ye be warned.
Because that was definitely
not
everyone's
the case.
thought after seeing the trailer.
Oh, uh-huh. They're like, bring in the clowns. Yeah, for sure. Bring them in. Okay. Joker. Yeah, let's actually do the review. So there's a lot of, you've all probably heard all the news stories circling this motion picture. And it's hard to talk about the movie without talking about those, but I'm going to try my best for just a second. The movie's really good.
Yeah.
And I think part of the reason why it's really good, one, the cinematography is amazing. The score and the use of like actual licensed songs, or each song in the movie like hits exactly the notes it's supposed to in terms of matching the tone of the film, and the cinematography does that exceptionally well, even better than the music. Joaquin Phoenix's performance is amazing. I also really liked Robert De Niro in this. It's a role that he doesn't really get the chance to do as much anymore, you know? Of, like, being someone that says why violence is bad. Just isn't really the role he gets anymore.
Yeah.
The issues that arise in the movie and some of the things that are a problem in the movie work really well because it's a reflection on actual society for it. And so having that be an issue of the movie... It's kind of like how all the Disney remakes just kind of cut out all the racism and shit that they did, and they're like, what if we make all the girls now they're now more powerful girl boss. But it's just like, well, no, that's one of the reasons why these things are important, is because they reflect on actual things in society. So when you have things that have really, really bad, horribly aged things, it's important to keep them in the movie, because then you know, like, how that was totally fine then. And seeing the change and seeing that progress, rather than just pretending those things never happened. Where Joker definitely does not pretend bad things never happen. Here's the thing. Todd Phillips is a doo-doo baby man. And he accidentally made a really, really poignant film dissecting fragile masculinity as well as mental health and basically untreated mental health, and how those are a wonderful combo. But he's a big baby man, you know?
Yes.
Luckily, the movie at no point had the Joker turn to the camera, look straight down the barrel of the lens, and say, "Actually, Murray, I wouldn't have killed all those people if it wasn't for Brie Larson." So he didn't get any of that, but there were a lot of like, "I can't tell jokes about pulling my wiener out on a subway anymore because of woke culture." And it's like, I mean, that's not really a joke though, is it? It's not really a joke. And also, okay, real quick aside, I know we try to like limit the amount of time we talk on these first impressions, and I will let you get a 2 cents in real quick. But fucking Todd Phillips, when talking about this movie, literally said he's not going to do comedies anymore because woke culture means that everything he does offends someone. But it's like, you can still make edgy comedy, you know? Always Sunny in Philadelphia is now tied for the longest running sitcom of all time. You can still do edgy comedy, just, I don't know, don't do lazy comedy. David, you also saw Joker.
I did.
What did you think of this dang old movie?
I was extremely happily surprised with this movie. From the first trailer that I saw, I thought, oh my gosh, this looks new and different. It had a new and different take on the superhero genre, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
And I thought this would be something on the line of Logan, where it took a more individual look at one character. And that's what it is.
Mm-hmm. I think it's better than Logan.
I do too. I think it's a lot better than Joker. I mean, Logan. Sorry. I think this movie, as you said, has amazing cinematography. Like, some of the shots in this are just so beautiful, and it's already happening where people are just taking frames of this and making posters, making, pictures and wallpapers, and it's looking so good. Mm-hmm. The score, I think I liked more than you, because I think you said that you didn't think the score was that great, even though you liked it.
I thought it was good. I thought that the licensed music was more impactful for me.
I thought the score was so perfectly eerie for everything that's going on screen that it just had a perfect meshing. And I don't know how much you talked about this, but Joaquin Phoenix, as
amazing
Joker, is next level amazing. He's eerie. He's got a few moments sympathetic moments, which I know was part of the problem.
Yeah,
and you
so
have a different.
Yeah, I talked to you about this outside of the podcast, so they don't know this conversation yet. I was trying, because I went in kind of worried about, because obviously there's a lot of talk about how people could have possibly viewed the movie and done violent things, and luckily, at time of recording, nothing like that has happened, which I'm very grateful for. You were saying that there are some times that it's very sympathetic. If you guys haven't heard Mark Commode's review, who is a way better reviewer than both of us combined, at times like 10.
Yes.
Times
8.
The word that he used for it, well,
I'm just joking.
like a 9.5. So the word that he used to describe how the audience is supposed to view Arthur's portrayal in it is pitiful. And I think that really, really hits at home of what it kind of the approach is for it. Because, like, you can feel sorry for someone without forgiving them. If that makes sense. And I think that's where the pity makes more sense than sympathy for it.
Yeah, I still think that the staircase scene... I just realized how many staircase scenes there actually are in this movie.
There's so many.
The indoor staircase scene is a very sympathetic moment, I think.
So, okay, here's what I'll say to wrap it up. For anyone who hasn't seen the movie yet that still wants to. If you're watching it with people, let's say you're a parent and you're bringing in your teenage son to see it. This is a movie that requires a discussion afterwards to really figure out what in this movie, like, what does it mean for our society? It's one that you can't just watch on a whim. This is a movie that you do have to digest and think about. Whether you like it or not, you have to kind of do that. And I think that's the biggest takeaway for this. So Joker, digest him.
The next movie that I saw, which I saw yesterday...
Wow.
just dropped.
Wait, you saw Yesterday? The Danny
no.
Boyle film?
No, that wouldn't be a first impression. I already talked about that one. I think we both talked about
did.
that one, actually. Is a weird horror-themed documentary called Wrinkles the Clown.
Oh, another clown.
Another clown.
Is this one
but
funny?
this
Because
one's-
this is 2 episodes in a row we haven't had any funny clowns, and I'm about at the edge of my no funny clown, like, equivalent, you know? I gotta find a balance between funny clown or bad clowns, otherwise it's just gonna ruin all clowns.
This one is not a funny clown.
God damn.
This is the documentary about Wrinkles the Clown.
Fuck!
Who lives in southwest Florida and can be hired by parents to come and scare their naughty kids. That's how the movie's set up. And it's fucked up. Because I think the psychology behind both the person who's actually doing this for their job
And the person hiring them.
and also the parents hiring
Yeah.
them. It's just, there's so many issues with all of it. And, you know, Wrinkles got kind of blown up by social media, and he was sticking stickers around in Florida with his photo and his phone number, and that blew up too, so his cell phone is just getting blown up. You can probably still call him. And he's got a voicemail, and there are scenes where parents would just call and play the voicemail for their children. Like, they're 3-year-old kids, and you would just hear these kids crying because they were so terrified of the thought of being visited by Wrinkles. And I kind of wish we would have dove into that part, like the psychology behind the parents who would do this, you know, because it's fucked up, right?
Yeah.
Like, these kids are... When I was a kid, I grew up in a world where I knew Jason wouldn't come to my door and scare me. I knew that when the TV was turned off and I went to sleep, although the thought of him possibly being real never actually could exist. But in a world where there's actually a clown that actually does visit kids...
Yeah, this is a real man. This isn't like...
This is a real person who lives in the city that you live in. Like, it's fucked up. I think.
Yeah, that's wild.
I know. And the documentary actually does something really interesting, which I don't know if I've ever seen another doc do, where about the first 2/3 are one story. And the final third isn't just like a sub-story of that story. It completely flips everything you thought you had been watching on its head and completely changes everything. I think it's a fun watch. It's under 90 minutes. It might be under 85 minutes.
That's not bad at
I
all.
think. No, it's short. It was an interesting watch. That's Wrinkles the Clown.
So, I know what you're thinking. You got 2 movies about clowns, but no jokes. Well, don't worry. This next movie is completely a joke. The whole fucking movie's a joke. So Netflix decided to make a movie. They just went and did it. The absolute fucking unit. They made
Oh,
Tall
that's
Girl.
right.
Tall Girl.
You know, in a world where we have
She's
so many
6'1",
real issues
which-
to talk about,
6'1"
you know which one
is
we're gonna
not
tackle
that tall.
is being a tall girl.
It's so hard. She's like, I wear a size 13 men's. Think your life is hard? And I'm like, no, but I don't think
The real
yours
life.
is either. Like, so this fucking movie. All right, it's so bad. It's so bad. I can't begin to explain how bad this movie is.
Let's hear it.
So there's
Talk
a
to me.
scene-
Talk to me about the traumas of being a tall girl.
There's a scene where she's recounting about how she has this arch nemesis, right? Arch nemesis who just wears this shirt, and this shirt just says sassy on it, so you know she's a real bitch, right? So there's a flashback scene where the young tall girl, she's standing in front of the class, and she says, "When I grow up, I want to be Taylor Swift." And sassy girl, she says, more like tall Swift. And then the whole class starts laughing. And then the teacher starts laughing. And then I never stopped laughing. Because I knew immediately, oh, this is a great movie. In the opening shot, is sitting across the table and flirting with this other guy, right? So they're both sitting down at the table, right?
Yeah.
It's like two opposite tables. And it sounds like he's about to ask her out, you know? Mm-hmm. And then she stands up. And I swear to God, it could have turned into a horror movie at that point. Because it was like it was as if her bones stretched in all of her limbs as this gigantic monster arose above the desk, and he looks up. You see the camera. It slowly tilts up as his head moves, and his eyes. He's almost crying at this point. He's like, never mind. Don't eat me, tall girl. And then she eats him.
Is it a real scene?
Pretty much. I'm exaggerating a bit, but if you watch the movie, I'm not exaggerating that much, though. It's so... Alright, there's one scene. The only way I can communicate how bad this movie is by recounting things that happen. So, you know, it's your generic teen rom-com where you have... there's like, oh, I have a crush on this guy, but then we had a kiss, but then also he's got a girlfriend, and the girlfriend is my arch nemesis who wears the sassy shirt all the time. So maybe I gotta date this other guy who used to bully me all the time, and so that's gonna make him jealous, and we're gonna go on a double date somehow to an escape room, a voodoo themed escape room that definitely feels good.
Jesus Christ.
But then you realize, oh, fwick, actually, maybe I don't even want to be in this situation because this is, like, super awkward or whatever, and I mean to be true to my own feelings and not try to fake anything and just be the real tall girl I am. So she's like, I gotta go. I'm just gonna leave. So she goes to exit through a door. Door's not opening. She goes to another door. Oh, that door's not opening because she's in the escape room with them. And so at that point I was like, wait a minute, this could be incredible. How many more doors you got? After the second door, sassy girl says, well, why don't you just leave? Tall girl turns and says, I'm trying to, and then it just cuts to the next scene. But here's what I wanted the rest hour of this movie have this big giant behemoth of a woman this slightly above average in height woman. I wanted to see her awkwardly try and like finish the escape room in order to leave. Because that would have been
escape rooms.
It would have been so funny, David, if that was just the rest of the movie in real time, her having to solve the puzzle while being like frazzled emotionally. It would have been perfect.
So tall girl, 5 out of 5.
Oh my God, 10 out of 5. It's a perfect movie.
Maybe I will watch this tonight.
Tell me about your next goddamn film before I lose my whole brain.
So Ethan, 6 years ago, possibly the greatest TV series of all time wrapped up.
No, Big Bang Theory is still going.
Fuck off. Eat my ass.
Fuck off my ass.
And yesterday we just got the additional conclusion
to Young Sheldon.
I hate you so much.
What show is it?
Called Breaking Bad. I said Breaking Bad.
No, but I interrupted you when I said Big Bang Theory.
Oh, yeah, no, that's Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad's the best TV show of all time. This month, they released El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie, which takes place right after the end of the Breaking Bad television series, and follows Jesse Pinkman as he kind of deals with the events that just took place. I don't really know how much I want to say about what those events are for those who haven't seen Breaking Bad.
No, so something real bad happened at the end of Breaking Bad for him, and it is his moment where he escapes part of that, but can't. He physically escapes it, but he cannot emotionally escape it.
Yes, and this entire movie follows him as he is trying to get things in order so he can get to safety.
Yeah.
There are several flashback scenes where we meet up with characters from the show, which I think are perfectly done. I think a lot of this movie seriously surprised me because, I mean, I was concerned because they hadn't released, they didn't lift the embargo on this until the day of, so I was like, that's not really ever a good sign. And honestly, I didn't even know that this movie was coming out until they dropped the trailer for it. I don't know how they kept this so well wrapped up, the production of it, or anything. There like no on-set photos were leaked. It's a miracle that in this day and age where you can basically follow the production of any movie you want through leaked photos, casting news, all of that. And none of this stuff was out until
it
Vince
was out.
Gilligan was ready to announce it. Yeah, it's amazing. Vince Gilligan is back as the writer-director of this, and I think he is so good. He's just got such a thumb on the pulse of this world and the characters in here, and every character that they bring back perfectly picks up where they left off or where you last saw them, and they just mesh straight back into the personality of the character that you loved from the show. And Aaron Paul, the fact that he did not get to become like a huge superstar after Breaking Bad is a crime, and seeing how good he is in this just adds to that. He's so good in this character, and I think there's so much he could do. I just don't know if he's been given the right stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is a absolutely beautiful send off to all these characters. It doesn't feel like it's trying to set up anything to like actually let's restart it and jump back into Breaking Bad.
And that's the thing. It doesn't.
This is final, you know.
It's really
It's
good
so
movie.
good. David,
Yeah,
can we
it's
can we just keep talking about good movies forever? Because I got one movie left on my first impressions, and I don't want to talk about it.
Ethan, let's hear it. What is it? Corgi the clown goes to school.
Nope, that's not the name of it.
Is it close though? Don't lie to me.
Not even close.
David, I saw.
Yes?
I did a bad. I watched a movie.
You did a bad.
to watch.
No, it's Ethan. We already talked about Tall Girl.
Fuck. Yo, they're both bad. I watched these within 12 hours of each other. I done watched the movie. I did it.
You dumb watch?
I done watched the movie.
Let's hear it. What is it?
The
Spit it out.
The Queen's Corgi.
Ooh, was it about Queen Elizabeth's famous corgi?
Yeah.
Was it? Wait a second. What?
Yeah.
Is that what the movie's actually
It's
about?
about the Queen's Corgi and
What queen?
Queen Elizabeth. And he's the top dog and he's a little bit spoiled, right? But he means well. He's a nice enough dog.
Ethan, why did you watch
So
this?
the president comes to visit. And it's really him.
Is this?
It's really Donald Trump. They don't even try and pretend it's not. That's the character. He comes out and, he takes selfies and he says cheesesteak. And he's got Melania is there too, and she has her own corgi. And the corgi is going to mate with the Queen's corgi. Is the setup.
Fuck is.
So he tells the dog. He says this verbatim: "Grab some puppy." Just a light
Holy
sexual
shit.
assault
It
joke.
actually is Donald
Just
Trump.
a little goof.
Just
Just a little goof about sexual assault. And then there's the scene where, she forces the dog to do it with her, and he runs away
Is this
screaming
fucking
and
Oprah?
and he runs underneath
This
the
is-
table and he accidentally trips, or he actually gets kicked. A real person kicks this dog, and then this causes the dog to kind of fly through the air and bite onto whatever he can, which is President Donald J. Trump's wiener.
Wait,
Bites it clean off.
where did you watch this?
And so of course
a real movie?
he feels really guilty. The Queen's mad at him. Queen's like,
I cannot believe you ate the president's weenie.
and so then they send him. A couple of things happen. He gets betrayed and he gets sent to the dog pound. And there's a joke. What I think was going to be a one-off joke. He's getting told the rules of the doghouse, right? And he's like, never eat another dog's food. Don't talk about Fight Club. Watch out for Tyson. And first you're thinking, oh, that's just kind of like a funny film reference when they said don't talk about Fight Club is one of the rules. And you think it's going to be just that. And then the dog says, wait, what do you mean Fight Club? And then you're like, oh, no, you're just kind of finishing off the joke. You're not going to make that a real plot of the movie, are you? no, it's just another part of the joke. And he's like, oh, Fight Club. Oh, we're not supposed to talk about it. And it's like, no, but what is it? And it's like, wait, no, guys, come on. No, you don't get to do this. And so dog fighting's a big part of like it's like a third of the movie is dog fighting.
Are you serious? What the fuck? Where did you watch this? I need to see this now.
David.
Is that on Netflix?
I went to hell. I looked Satan right in the eyes and I said, do your worst. And he said, Queen's Corgi? And I was like, that's pretty bad.
Holy shit. Did you know, just to fact check the movie itself, neither Trump nor the Queen actually have a dog.
Not anymore.
Because of the movie?
Well, no, because the corgis that were owned by the Queen all died.
Yeah.
Like years ago.
Yeah, no. Currently, neither of them have dogs.
Okay. Sick.
Oh, wait, no. No. She does. She sells 2 dorgies. Corgi-hound crosses.
This movie cost $20 million.
No, it did not.
It cost $20 million.
You know what you could have done with $20 million?
I want you to give me a quick guess on that Rotten Tomatoes.
3.
Oh. You're 3 points too high.
It's a 0?
This is a flat fucking 0.
Beautiful. Is this on Netflix?
You know what its rating is? NR.
Like,
because they were like, no, you can't do it. Thematic content involving sexually suggestive material, rude humor, violence, and some language.
Jesus. Is this even supposed to be a kid's movie?
This movie is for nobody. Because it's too childish to be for anyone above the age of 5, but it's too crude to be for anyone under the age of 6. So there's nobody. Movies for nobody.
Is this on Netflix?
No.
How did you watch this?
I went through the dark web.
Oh, Jesus. It's actually just a deep fake.
I wish it was. Fucking Kermode reviewed this one as well.
Did he really?
He sure did.
Oh, I can't wait to watch
he
that.
hated it.
Ethan, that sounds like a very painful movie.
This one's never going to make it onto anyone's backlog. But wait a minute. What's that? What's the backlog?
The backlog, we were actually
That's the roughest transition.
And it's definitely already on my backlog now that I heard you talk about it. I need to watch this movie. I got to watch a movie for my backlog that I had heard about countless times. I have known the title of this movie for as long as I can remember, honestly. Mm-hmm. It's always kind of been there. And I didn't know anything about it, really, except for a few things. It's a vampire movie, and Kiefer Sutherland's in it. That's all I knew. And this is Joel Schumacher's 1987 The Lost Boys. One correction. I did know one more thing. Due to What We Do in the Shadows and the scene where they make a joke about what the people are eating. Mm-hmm. That was the only other point of reference I had into this movie. And so going into this, I thought this would be, kind of a moody vampire movie. That's really it. That's all I had. And it's, it's pretty fucking cheesy. It's super fucking cheesy.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how big of a role these comic book store kids would have in the movie.
Yeah, they just kind of stick around the whole time, huh?
They do. I thought they would just be there for that one scene when the little brother goes in there. I was like, okay, they're done. And then they come back and they're in there for a long time. They're
they
in
get
the
their
entire
fucking
third
dues.
act of this movie. And this movie, I said if I would have seen this when I was younger, so I could have just gone in there and laughed at it as a kid, I would probably love this movie. But seeing this less than a month ago, I don't know. It was just so weird. The relationship that is supposed to be this big thing at the end, I was like, you literally just looked at each other. And then that's the relationship formed right there in that one look.
Done and done.
I'm like, you guys didn't even talk. You walked up to her. Kiefer came up with his boys, was like, get on, we're leaving. And then you were like, I'm going to chase after her. And jump off a bridge. This movie's just so.
You know
weird.
why I hate Los Angeles?
Holy vampires.
In that quote, that quote's pretty funny.
That's a
I like
great
that.
quote. That's a solid quote.
But it's the last thing said in the movie, and I'm like, why can't we have like more of those memorable lines throughout this entire thing?
Well, now, but what about Kiefer Sutherland's spiky hair?
That's pretty cool. Kiefer's pretty cool, but like also like the fucking saxophone player. I was like, what's going on here? Why is he just like jacked the fuck up, oiled up, playing a
It's a
saxophone?
perfect movie. I don't know what you're talking about, David.
Like, what is this? What is this concert even? Oh, why did we move?
It's pretty good.
How?
You know, I saw something from my backlog that was actually pretty good. That was also
What is
a
it?
horror classic.
Oh,
More of a contemporary
classic, you say?
classic.
Ooh.
I finally got to see The Witch. And you have been busting my butt for a minute and a half about the fact how long it's taken me to watch The Witch. So this takes place in like fucking Puritan times or whatever, right?
1630s.
1630s. I knew it for sure. So this is a lot of it. They speak in Old English, which you said something to me before I watched this movie. You said I needed subtitles, and I didn't. Totally got it.
Fantastic.
So if anyone's taken any like Shakespeare classes or like had to read Shakespeare before, you'll be fine. You know, it does a good job. You can still get the full point of everything around of what
I
the
just feel like when I watch,
watch.
so I've seen this several times, and I think every time I have watched this with subtitles on, I just felt like it's nice to have that little security blanket there.
It's all right. I don't know if you need it though.
Ethan, did you know that this movie has a original title, which is your favorite kind of title, which is a longer title?
Yeah, tell me.
Do you know what it is? The Witch, a New England folk tale.
That's a great title.
Yeah.
It's good. The Vavitch. Gorgeous cinematography. Fantastic acting. The score in this is so unsettling. The visuals in it. And like, some of those visuals are like, There's not really a lot of jump scares. There's maybe one jump scare towards the end. But there's this ongoing dread that is like really under your skin the whole time. And like a lot of that comes from just the tension between different family members about whatever is going on. It's really good. It's a movie that like the tension in it fits perfectly in the time frame they're in and wouldn't really work any other time. It's some of the spooky things right away. Like the baby in the beginning or Black Phillip are bone chilling. It is one of the best horror movies I've maybe ever seen.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I finally got around to watching this.
About fucking time.
Big
now,
fucking
here's the thing.
spooks, though.
I agree with all the praise that you're giving this movie, but I would say that this movie is also not for everyone.
No.
Like, there are going to be a lot of people. When I saw this in theaters, because, you know, I saw it in theaters. No big deal.
Hey, you dropped something there, David. David, you just dropped
what was
it.
That? What?
Oh, you dropped. Sorry, no.
But a lot of people did walk out.
Gotta pick it up, David.
The mic.
No, you just dropped
No,
it. You just dropped there. Right there. You just name dropped.
What?
Just time dropped of when you saw the movie. You're going to want to pick that up.
Nope, I'm going to leave it right there.
Fuck.
Everyone can see it. Ethan, do you want to drop when you saw it? Like a week ago? Oh, okay. But a lot of people walked out of my screening of this. And I think that has to do with the pacing and although, you know, if you took a Shakespearean class, then it won't be an issue. But I think that the dialogue, the script of this is going to be a little off-putting for some people. Ethan, should we jump right into our horror-themed segment, main portion of this episode that we probably got to run through because we've already been talking for over an hour?
Oh. Wait, yeah, I think it's just down in the basement. Let me open up this creaky door. What's down there in the spooky cobwebs? I can almost see... Oh, we're talking about vaguely connected horror topics.
I think. Well, so we have a
It's just a weird list. There's not a good way to do it. We just have some weird categories that we decided to talk about.
We're gonna run through these and talk pretty quickly about random. They start off random and they continue just getting more and more.
Kind of like our
random as we
Valentine's
go.
Day episode structure. You know, we're just keeping it loose as a goose over here. You know.
Yeah. Yep. Let's fucking do it.
Best
So the
horror
first,
villain.
Hannibal Lecter.
Oh,
From Silence of the Lambs.
I chose.
And
actually, no. Give me your quick, 2-sentence reason.
oh, I think Anthony Hopkins. First of all, his performance in that is just next level. It's probably the best performance we've ever seen from any horror villain
Gemini.
ever. Yep. Well deserved. Even though he's only on screen for 9 minutes or 6 minutes or something super
It's
short
impactful.
like that. And he's just so smooth. He's actually smart. Like, he doesn't just walk. He fucking outsmarts everybody and then eats them.
Damn. My best horror movie villain is systemic racism, as featured in Get Out. Now, that seems like a joke answer, but it's not really, because I think that the best, villains or best parts of horror are what it stands in for in real life. That is best expression through the means of horror, whether that is generational grief, as seen in Hereditary, or fear of sexually transmitted diseases in It Follows, or fear of systemic racism in Get Out. So it's the stand-ins for it, and I think that's really impactful. And I think that's what makes horror great as a genre, is that they can do these really, really symbolic, versions and expressions on true horror. See, I told you I had a real answer for it.
You actually did, and I did not expect that.
Alrighty. Speaking of didn't expect that, we're going to jump around a little bit. Most what the fuck are you thinking scene?
Holy shit, you're jumping around. So, Ethan, did you actually pick one for this?
I sure
ever? 'Cause
did.
I have
I
mine.
sure did. You want to know? Should I go first?
You can go first, yeah.
In the movie The Thing, why did they split up? What? At the point where you realized that it was copying people or taking people out, even if you didn't realize they were fully copying or messing up the DNAs, if you knew that there was something weird happening where everyone's getting killed when they were alone, you don't fucking split up. You know? And then now it's a horror movie cliche of let's split up and search for clues. It's no, don't split up. Don't do it.
Valid. Very
It's
valid.
fucking stupid.
People do really split up a lot in horror movies. So much so that it was even made fun of in Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah. So what's yours?
Mine is in Jeepers Creepers. When Jake Long and his sister are driving down the road, and they see a spooky truck that has been fucking with them, throw something down a pipe in the hole that goes into the earth. And Jake Long has the great idea to circle back, climb in, and go down this pipe to see what this body-size, carpet-rolled object was. Now, I realize that you have to do this to set up a horror movie, but no logical person would ever think about going down a rusty pipe into the earth to see what this is, especially not having any way out.
Why the fuck?
Why the fuck would you ever do that? Maybe call the cops, keep driving, and tell them where on the road it was to have them investigate.
Did
but
it elicit a jump scare?
This scene may have elicited a jump scare at some point.
Was it not the best, though?
No, it was definitely not.
Oh,
the
well,
best,
David,
but we can
pray
talk
tell,
about the
what
best.
is the best jump scare? You see,
know what's
I'm
really weird?
I'm going through these.
You're really going through these, and it's weird that you would move on to that one next, because my best jump scare is also from the same movie that was for your best what the fuck moment, and that's the thing.
Oh.
And my best jump scare moment is when the chest pops open, because you know something is coming, but never did you expect that.
Yeah, that's
that
pretty
the
fucking wild.
Core of somebody's body would just turn into a mouth and eat your hand.
My best jump scare is mainly a best use of an edit in a movie, and it's a classic, you know? This is the knife to the eye and then cutting back to then it switches to a cloud, or a cloud going in front of the moon. This is from the French silent film that Salvador Dali made. Un chien and a Louis.
What?
I don't know how to say I don't know how to say it.
What are we? I don't even know what this is.
Image is pretty iconic. It's holding a girl's eye open, and then they have a razor, and they're like about to cut the eye, and then it cuts to a shot of the moon with a cloud going in front that shows the cut, and then it cuts back, and it's fucking brutal.
Is it? Would you say it's gory?
It's pretty gory.
Would you say that it's the best use of gore?
I would say it's a very effective use of gore, but I got one better for you in terms of use of gore. This one's not really a horror movie. Is that okay?
I mean, it's our Halloween episode, so, I mean, if you want to fucking destroy the entire structure of this entire segment of this episode and just trash the entire episode altogether, I guess that's okay.
Fuck. Sorry. Fwick.
You're very PC in this episode.
Yeah, you cunt. My favorite use of gore is in the Holy Mountain, and because of that, they don't really do it. Like, the use of gore is subversive, so you have like women holding watermelon, and they like stab into the watermelon, and it still gets the same effect. So my favorite use of gore is the one that doesn't really do it, but still has the same effect, because I think that's super impressive.
I don't think our answers could be any further apart. Literally any further apart. My favorite use of gore is one that goes over the top with the amount of gore. And that is in Fede Alvarez's remake of Evil Dead. Have you seen this? Actually, honestly, a super good remake of like the classic horrors. I know there's like a lot of them, but I think this might be the best. I really like this interpretation of the movie. And at the end, it is when our main star, Jane Levy, takes a chainsaw and cuts somebody in half, and it is just a fucking waterfall of blood everywhere. And it's outside, it's in the dark, it's in the rain, it's muddy. Fede Alvarez is also just a kick-ass director, and he knows how to shoot things like this. And, like, it's over the top while also kind of being realistic, and it's amazing. And, like, it looks all practical. Like, the body looks super good when it's getting cut in half. It's an awesome scene.
Damn. For sure. What do you think is the most overrated horror film?
This wasn't even hard for me. It's Friday the 13th. I don't even think Friday the 13th is a good movie. I think Jason Voorhees as a villain is kind of lame. I think I don't know, like he's just a cliche. The hockey mask is kind of cool, but it's not scary where like the Michael Myers like emotionless mask is actually scary.
Yeah.
The hockey mask is like, okay, cool. And it's just, the first one is his mother, and it's not good. And I don't know how it got dragged into such a long franchise.
So, people know my thoughts on this film because we talked about it in the previous episode. The Blair Witch Project is a pile of fucking garbage. It is not good. It's not spooky or good. And if you're not good or spooky, you're a bad movie. That's it. I already talked about a lot of the problems last time, so they can just go fucking listen to that episode, you lazy sons of bitches, even though I'm literally not answering a simple question again.
Let's see here. You missed the transition when I was talking about Fede Alvarez as a director. We could have gone into, best favorite horror directors.
Favorite horror directors? Well, yeah, that would have been a better category to go into.
It would have been.
Do it then.
Do you? So I have one who is like my historically favorite horror director, and then I have three that are like up and coming.
What if she
possibly.
three of them? All right, I got a classic one and a modern one, and I have a feeling they might be the same.
You think you think all of these are gonna be the same?
Maybe.
Who's your favorite classic?
John Carpenter.
Fuck yes.
All right.
Yes.
Who's your favorite modern one?
He made. Oh, we're not gonna talk about John Carpenter. Favorite modern ones are
Ari Aster.
Ari Aster, but also
Robert
Yep.
Edgers.
And Jordan Peele.
Yep.
Is that? Do we just?
Anyway, so let's move on to the next one. Are we best friends now? No. Unless you guess correctly onto my next category. Who is
What's next?
the sexiest ghost?
I didn't even put any thought into this. There's only one answer to that, and that's fucking Patrick Swayze in Ghost. Next.
Now, here's the thing. Slimer. This is a ghost primarily
You really
seen
don't want to see Ethan's Pornhub search.
just
history.
fucking hot dog after hot dog, wiener after wiener, just taking it like a champ.
Jesus Christ.
I want to fuck Slimer. Is that pretty wild? You think that's pretty wild?
That you want to fuck a Slimer? Yeah, that's pretty wild.
What do you think any horror movie franchises ever got too wild?
Oh, yeah. So I had two here.
Okay.
And my first one was going to be Jaws.
Oh yeah, we're looking at the difference
Jaws
between
of-
the starting line and the finish line.
Because Jaws eventually gets into like this whole psychological connection between what's-her-face and the shark.
Yeah.
And that's weird.
No, that's
But then I was
wild.
like, Friday the 13th still does go to space.
Yo, Jason X is a fucking masterpiece. That's what I put.
And like, that's what you put
Yeah,
for
Friday
yours?
the 13th gets wild though.
Yeah. It's a fucking disaster.
Yeah.
Uh,
But you know, Jason
also
is he's a slasher. What's your favorite slasher movie?
ooh, I went with a classic on this one. God, it was really. I think it's really.
It's gonna be the same one.
It's really between two on this one. And I went with Psycho.
Oh, we got something different.
Did you go with
I
Halloween?
absolutely went with Halloween.
Yeah. I think Psycho, that's what I was really torn between, and I think Psycho, it just surprises me more. Like, Psycho makes such, like, for how old it is, it feels like it's changing the game.
Yeah, no, it absolutely
already
did.
back
I will
then.
say that I think Halloween is a more effective slasher and horror movie because it feels more real. There's not as much disconnect for the viewer, you know? You're not at some weird motel. It's not black and white. You are in your neighborhood.
That's true, but I mean, Psycho,
It brings the horror home. They're both good. They're both really good though. Both classic. You know, if I would have seen
opens up in
if
such
I
a-
would have seen either of these as a kid, I would have been spooked completely.
Psycho opens up with the main actress stealing money and going on the run, and because she's on a run, she pulls over to a hotel to spend the night there, and it's just like it's such a unique setup.
I know the setup.
I know, but you picked Halloween and not Psycho, so eat ass. Let's see here. What is the scariest? Oh fuck! You did set it up perfectly.
I know. Fucking bitch. So let me try again.
Okay.
If I would have seen either of those dang old movies as a kid, I would have been spooked shitless. I would have shit my pants. I would have taken a dookie right in the diaper. Hey, speaking of
which
which,
I'm sure you did as a kid. What is the scariest movie for a kid to watch?
it's Monster House, and I will not hear any other questions.
Oh no, it's not. Did you actually pick like children's horror movie?
Monster
Because
House.
I went with two on this one, and both have kind of related themes, and that has to do with the relationship between the child and the parents. And so I went with either The Shining or The Babadook.
No, these are scariest movie for kids. A movie that is for kids that is scary.
No. I picked the scariest movie for a kid to watch.
What? No, that's not what it was.
That's what I picked. That's how I
No,
interpreted
it's a
it.
kids
You should've
movie.
fucking-
That's the
you should
scariest movie
for
for
word.
kids. The movie's for
You
kids.
said scariest movie for kids. I didn't interpret that.
Anyway, so
scariest
Monster
kids
House
movie.
is the scariest kids movie.
No, it's the scariest movie for kids, not scariest
I
kids
wrote
movie.
it.
You
don't get it.
I'm looking at it right now. Scariest movie for kids, not scariest kids movie. There's a difference
All right,
there.
who's the ugliest vampire?
Oh boy. Did we pick the same one, you think? I said Gary Oldman from Dracula.
Oldman from Bram Stoker's Dracula.
He's fucking so ugly, dude. And
he
Dracula's...
looks like the baby that would have happened if fucking Helen Bonham Carter's version of the Queen of Hearts from the live action Alice in Wonderland had a baby with Emperor Palpatine. That's what he looks
That's
like.
so fucking specific and so accurate. It's shocking.
He's so ugly.
So Ethan,
Oh, vampires kind of fit into a classic horror type, right? It's very much like a creature feature. What's your favorite type of horror?
I think I gotta go with the home invasion genre.
Ooh.
I really like it. You have movies like Hush, You're Next. Even I think Ready or Not is kind of a twist on that genre. And also, I think I just like the confinedness of those horror movies. And they seem so realistic, where you could just be at home one day and somebody could invade your home. I also think that this genre can go horribly wrong.
Yeah.
Very easily. But I think when done right, it's so good.
I really like crime horror types. So there's an actual investigation going on with it that kind of uncovers it. Or I guess more
So
like
what kind?
noir horror.
A noir horror?
Yeah, so think like Ring.
Do you have an example? Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Where it's like they're trying to figure out what's going on, and then in doing so, learning about it is what causes the horror for them. I think Silence of the Lambs also kind of fits into that crime/noir horror.
Yeah.
I fuck with it hard. It's so
That's really
good.
Yeah.
Always cult horror is also always fun.
Cold horror is really good. There's a lot of... there's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I would say slashers is a pretty solid one too, though. Speaking of slashums, what horror movie slasher would carve the best pumpkins? Couple of conditions.
There's only one
Couple
answer.
of conditions for you. They can only use the main weapon they use to kill everyone. So I want to hear, who do you think would do the worst? It's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre guy, right?
Oh, it's
Because
gotta
he
be.
just
Holy shit, it'd just be a disaster.
he's so messy.
I think the best would have to be Freddy.
It's Freddy, yeah, because he's got the little knives
Yeah.
on his fingies. He's got the precision.
And, he's not a
He can
complete-
test it out in his dream world before he really goes for it.
And he's actually he's a thinker. He's actually got a mind, so he would probably be pretty fucking precise. Whereas if you took
you can't-
Jason,
you just take a machete.
He's
You
not
can't
really thinking. He's not doing too
Yeah.
much.
I mean, Michael Myers at least has a knife. He's got a very conventional.
He would do the classic kind of triangle eyes, but I feel like Freddy would do
Except one of the eyes would be the outline of his head.
So Ethan,
That's
is
a
the
Halloween joke for you.
we
Did you
got-
like that one?
I did like that. We got our last question here, and I think this is
Oh.
the best question in the entire category. What Pixar movie plot would make the scariest live-action horror movie? And I have two for this. I think I have my one answer, but I think that there are two that actually compete.
I think there is one answer.
Do you think?
And I think the key to it is the live action part.
Do you think that your one is one of my two?
Probably.
Should I say my two, and then we can see if we line up here?
David Cars.
What the fuck? No. Cars?
Live action. Picture it.
Yeah, I'm picking.
Picture
picturing-
live action car. Not cartoony.
Yeah, no,
live
I know.
action.
They
The
already-
eyes look real.
they are-
The tongue looks real.
They already made that with the fucking Lindsay Lohan little.
No.
bug movie.
No. Herbie Fully Loaded did not have a tongue.
I mean, the tongue would be weird.
It would be so fucking horrifying.
So my two, the first one that came to mind is pretty obvious. Monsters Inc. It's a movie about monsters scaring kids. It's already a horror movie if you just make it into live action and make it actually scary instead of lovable and cute, right?
Yeah, these monsters kidnap a child.
Exactly. And I think you could really dive into making all of those monsters all scary on their own. Think end of Cabin in the Woods, right? Where you get like all these different types of monsters. What?
Still haven't seen that.
You fucking My other one is Toy Story.
See, yeah, Toy Story. It's just Chucky, isn't it?
It's just Chucky, but it's a lot of Chuckies, and like, imagine though, like when they go to
Sid's house.
yeah, that shit would be fucking terrifying. Like that would be like the most terrifying scene ever. All these fucking mutant toys.
But here's my thing.
This motherfucker has
A car with human anatomy in it.
But like we're used to that. Transformers.
This
Herbie.
this is some grotesque, real like tongue and flesh melded with inside the machine.
Here's the issue with that.
This would be some fucking body horror to the max.
Ethan, here's the issue with that. Though.
Real human eyes.
Here's the issue with that. Is in your
tongue.
In your movie, humans don't exist. It's just cars. So it's just this
still
fucked up,
spooky.
It's just this fucked up car on car thing. Mine has the interaction between the not real and humans.
David, I gotta hold my ground. I don't want to see a car with a real tongue.
Dude, if my car could lick my butt,
I never want to see a car
with
I never want to see a car with a real tongue that looks at me and moves forward. That is the scariest thing.
I only want to see this movie just to see what a car accident would look like.
Oh my god, it'd be horrifying. In fucking Cars 3, when he fucking does a roll, and you're just gonna see like real bones and flesh coming out, along with mortar oil and blood. Guys, what do you think? Do you think that live action Brave would be scarier because you were a fucking idiot? Send us an email about it.
I was thinking Inside Out would be pretty cool to see that with like, but like doing the emotions of like a serial killer or like something. Yeah. So Ethan, you know what it's time for?
Fucking us to move on to the fix fiction.
Yes, sir. And you know what is always changing but constantly there?
I was working in the podcast late one night. A terrible fright. He did the fix. He did the movie fix. It was so shit. And then he gave it new bits. He did the fix. He fixed it all up. But then also, because there's two parts of it. He did the pitch. He did the new IP pitch. He did the pitch. This used to not exist. He did the pitch. So
That was so good.
And it's fun to fix and pitch together.
You went from
David, don't you ever feel down? I say, David.
There are
your feet off the
putting
ground,
so
I
many
say,
different
David.
songs into this.
'Cause you're in a new town and there's fixes and pitches to deliver.
That was amazing. I'm genuinely impressed.
If you wanna fix,
Oh, it's just going.
fix this bad movie. If you wanna pitch, go and pitch movie.
Oh boy.
I was doing greatest hits. Where's some other
Nope.
classic
We can end
tunes?
there.
We can do like 4 more.
Give me another 2-hour plus episode.
It's Fix and Pitch, the ever-present segment with the ever-changing theme song. This greatest hits edition this time.
So,
Tell the folks what it be.
what this
What'd it
entire
be?
section be?
What it be?
So, in the pitch and fix, one of us will pitch an original movie idea, and the other one will fix a generally horrible movie or a just semi-not okay movie. And this week, in this month, in this episode, I will be fixing and Ethan will be pitching. So,
Yes,
Ethan,
you're damn right.
you want to pitch away?
We always start with the fix.
And I always forget that.
It's okay. I always forget we do a theme song. So
So, Ethan, this time I'm gonna be fixing a real fucking disaster.
Uh-oh.
I am,
A real train wreck? Are you fixing train wreck?
Ethan, this movie was written and directed by Fred Durst. It stars...
Some things you can't fix, David.
It stars John Travolta.
David, there are some things you can't fix.
And this is 2019's The
No.
Fanatic.
No.
Yes.
No, you can't fix it.
Watch me.
It's so broken, David.
Have you seen this yet?
It's so broken. No amount of Elmer's glue or sketch tape will put it back together again.
I can try, though. Ethan, this movie follows around Moose. His name's Moose.
Fix number 1.
It can't be Moose, because that's fucking stupid.
There's no fucking way.
And he's it's never addressed, but you can only guess from John Travolta's performance that he may be slightly mentally handicapped. Never fully addressed.
Not Moose.
No, yes, Moose. And he's got this really weird fucking, like, mullet haircut. Like, it's almost like a bowl cut in the front with a mullet in the
Party
back.
in the back.
And it's a disaster. Also, his acting, the way he delivers a line, it's almost like he's joking to like get like hyped up, because the tone is just all over the place. It's just as soon as he starts talking, you're like, that can't really be what he's going for in this movie, and it is. So.
But it was.
So
I thought it was a goof.
He's got a friend in the movie who's played by, I don't even know how to say her last name, Anya Golja. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. She's probably been in nothing else besides this movie. And she is a tabloid photographer in Hollywood who takes photos. And throughout the movie, there's this oddly placed voiceover by her character, not Moose. And I think that's what we're going to be focusing on. And we're going to instead...
I think we gotta pay a little bit of attention to Moose, though.
No. We're going to pay as little as we can attention to Moose.
Was that the fix?
That's the fix, is we're not following Moose around, because Moose cannot be on screen. Because I want Moose to kind of be this, like, shadow of a character that we only get moments with, right? Because if we focus too much on him...
Like how you want your normal interactions with real mooses to be.
Exactly. First of all, we're getting rid of John Travolta, because he cannot act anymore. I don't know what he's doing. Like, Scientology obviously worked out for Tom Cruise. It's not working out for Travolta. And we're going to recast Jake Gyllenhaal in his Nightcrawler kind of character.
All right.
I think that would work out really well here. And we are going to be focusing on the photographer friend a little bit more. So we're going to keep this voiceover, because this voiceover that's constantly going on is kind of talking about this fanatic obsession and the issue with Hollywood fame, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hence the name The Fanatic. Shocker. And we're going to be following her as she is, taking shots of one actor in general, probably because he is just about to be releasing a new movie and he's this hot topic. And like, there's this whole thing introduced in the movie with this app that basically just has addresses listed out for all celebrities, which is really weird. We're probably going to get rid of that. It's just this really, I don't know. It's
That seems like a not good app to have, actually.
No, it's really weird.
Can we actually take that off the Google Play Store, guys?
And like, one of the big things is when she gives this access to Moose and he just starts showing up to this guy's house. So what we're going to do instead is have her being, like staked outside this guy's house, taking photos, and Moose eventually catches wind of who she's taking photos of. And so he starts following her, so that way he learns where she is. And so like one day when she's there taking shots, he like walks into her frame of her camera, and she like panics, and she's like, "Moose, what are you doing?" We're gonna keep his name Moose, just because It's so fucking funny. It's so stupid. There's also this scene where he eventually breaks into the house. He grabs these antlers that are on the table for some reason, puts them up to his head, and he goes, "Moose is in the house!" And then he starts running around.
No, he doesn't.
Running around
No, he
screaming,
doesn't.
"Moose is in the house!"
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does. It's so good.
Fuck.
So, then she kind of pulls him into the car and she goes, "Moose, you can't be showing up to his house. Like, I don't want you to get into trouble. Like, I don't want you to become, get a restraining order put up against you." And he's like, no, don't worry, right? Just trying to calm her down. And he keeps showing up when she's there taking shots. Until one day, he eventually breaks in, and because she doesn't want to also break the law, she doesn't trespass, she doesn't go onto the property, and she only catches sight of what's going on through the windows of the house. And what is going on?
Through the window.
I hate you. And what's going on?
There's a moose there.
Is he confronts the actor and kind of takes him prisoner. And she drives away while calling the police because she doesn't want this to go any further, because she cares about him. But she also doesn't want to get involved because she doesn't know what will happen if she enters the house, because she knows that Moose is an unstable character.
Well, she knows Moose is in the house.
Fuck it, we're renaming it to Moose is in the house.
I mean, here's the thing. That title, if you just change the poster around, that could be a comedy. Keep John Travolta in his weird fucking hair and makeup.
No.
And then just call it Moose is in the house.
And just make it a Rocky and Bullwinkle.
It's the same poster of Napoleon Dynamite.
But I also want to give it this, LA Confidential kind of feel, right? So maybe making it a little bit more of a...
I'm pretty sure that one's pronounced La Confidential.
I hate you. Maybe we'd make it more of a period piece. Also, we have to get rid of Fred Durst. Jesus.
Are you talking just from the project, or just in general we have to get rid of him?
Both? There is a scene in this movie.
Fucking send Moose after him.
There's a scene in this movie where the father puts on a Limp Bizkit song, starts singing it, and then talks about how amazing Limp Bizkit is. And I'm like, Fred, my buddy, you can't do this about your own fucking band.
No, that's like in that's in Nocturnal Animals, when somebody puts on a new coat and they're like, "Wait a minute, is this a Tom Ford jacket? Oh yes, you can tell by how comfortable I feel in it. It's such a good jacket."
But I want to create... I think my main thing with here is creating Moose less of the front man and more of this this mysterious figure.
Do you remember in Suicide Squad when Joker shows up and he's like, "I like to get crazy. I like to listen to 30 Seconds from Mars."
Stop. But I want Moose to be this character that whenever he's on screen, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know how he's going to react to anything. You know? You don't know. Okay. Well,
So in the show House, the doctor comes up and he says, "Gee, your neck sure is broke as fuck, Bill. But here's the thing. I think the prescription you need is this very fun blues and jazz album made by this real nice Englishman."
I think the one positive that we just got from this is that we know what the name of the episode's going to be. Moose in the house.
I think it's going to be Moose on the Loose. Because he's scary.
So, Ethan,
Moose on the Loose.
what's your pitch? Let's hear your...
My pitch is called Moose on the Loose. It's a sequel to Moose is in the House. And the thing is, this time Moose is out of the house. And that's even scarier.
You should really watch The Fanatic.
Moose isn't trapped in here with you. Moose is on the loose.
Holy fuck.
Hey, I got a pitch.
You got a pitch? Let's hear it.
It's called The Groundskeeper.
Ooh. Is it about a groundskeeper?
Yeah, it's going to be a thriller drama type that is a dissection on class.
Sounds like somebody just saw Parasite.
No, it's gonna be. I want it to be real. I want it to look visually a lot like The Witch.
Oh, so
and
amazing.
really dulcet grays, well shot. I want it to be made by Corey Finley, who did Thoroughbreds, which we also mentioned in this episode. Just because I really want to see what he does in the next thing. So it's going to be about a groundskeeper that I'm thinking there's some sort of like social revolution happening. Think like the French Revolution, but I kind of want it to be set in Ireland. But I don't know if I necessarily want it to be tied with the IRA or anything like that. I kind of want it to be like historical fiction, if that makes sense. You know, like they never really say where they are. Our main character is played by Andy Serkis. He is the groundkeeper.
Nice.
He's gonna have the beard.
Is he a monkey?
No, he's live action.
Oh,
he's gonna look like
Andy Serkis.
He's gonna look like you covered Ulysses Claw in just a lot of dirt.
Okay, with one hand.
No,
Both hands. Okay, I like it.
Yeah, I know it's pretty crazy.
A terrible groundskeeper if he had one hand.
So there's going to be a few different moving parts to this movie. It's mainly going to be about him and dealing with. So there's going to be two different things happening. There's going to be the house that he works for and sees this huge like wealth and like kind of disdain for the poor and the filthy animals and peasants or whatever, you know. Mm-hmm. And it's also going to have the relationship between his daughter, and his daughter is becoming very like politically active. So his daughter is going to be played by Saoirse Ronan. And she is, you know, she won't stop talking about this kind of pro-union, pro-worker type guy played by Benicio del Toro. He's kind of like the working man campaigner in this kind of place. He's going up against the normal, I'm thinking like mayor or senator or something, played by Michael Fassbender, who is like this kind of wealthy, weaselly type, you know? And, you know, Andy Serkis is pretty indifferent to everything until he kind of oversees some intense corruption at the house. Now at the house, it's owned by a very, very well-to-do couple. Again, these are the ones that are like, the peasants, get your hand off me and make me dirty. It's going to be played by David Tennant and Michelle Williams. But I'm thinking like he sees this intense corruption and like then at some point he sees that it's, you know, there's not really much he can do about it. The biggest thing is, you know, I want it to be kind of suspenseful and I want there to be some kind of like intense action, but it's mainly going to be like him trying to secure documents or whatever, like proof that there's corruption. Mm-hmm. But I want it to end on a really dark note. I want the rich to come out on top, and I want it to be really, really depressing of an ending.
Nice.
Yeah, I just want it like it's gonna end like his daughter is gonna die or something, and like Benicio del Toro is gonna like actually play into the pocket of these wealthy individuals, and like it's just gonna suck, and it's gonna be a real downer.
Can I guess that you were going to have Todd Phillips direct this movie?
No, I already said who's directing it. It's Corey Finley.
I'm just joking. I know. I like that.
But I like the idea of doing something that doesn't have like something about that doesn't have any sort of happy ending and be like, actually it's better now because we got this. It's like, no, they're still in charge and we're fucked.
Did you say anything about black and white?
I want it to be in a lot of dulcet grays. I don't know full black and white. Okay. Almost somewhere between The Witch and Children of Men.
Okay.
You know, where everything's really, really like pale.
Yeah.
And kind of dirty.
I like that.
But
I like that.
I don't know. It's not super fleshed out, but that's the kind of feeling I want for it. So, you know, Corey, just do what you do best. Make a dang great movie.
I like that.
It's called The Groundskeeper.
I like that name, too.
Yeah.
It's very, handmaiden.
A little bit, but I think rougher.
Yeah. Dirtier.
Slimer and Moose off the caboose.
Episode title?
Yeah. Hey, what if we just really orchestrate our episode title?
where we just make jokes just to have it be the episode title. Let's do that now.
We can do that.
The Ghosts of Ghoul Friends Past.
Oh, I thought we were just gonna go with Moose on the Loose.
Moose on the Loose, I don't think people will know it's a horror movie.
Oh, people will fucking know.
Or I guess we could call it, Moose on the Loose.
But what if people read that as a Moose on the Loose?
Not with how many A's I'm going to put on there.
So fucking long.
And it's not going to be like, Moose on the Loose.
Moose on the Loose.
What a fucking wild title. Hey, we actually have a decent plan for the rest of the year. What are some things people can look forward to coming out this year for us?
Next episode,
we got a special guest.
We're gonna be having our first returning guest.
Wow.
And that's gonna be...
That's fun.
Steven.
Well, no. Just leave it at that.
Oh, mysterious.
So we have another guest episode.
And we're gonna be doing a big old Thanksgiving bag where we're going to be trading some backlogs that both of us have, because I have a lot and he has a lot, and it's going to be a grand old time.
I think you don't need to tease it that much. I think you need to just say we're gonna have some special.
Oh, fucking eat my ass. And then December, Ethan, we have a little cinema.
We're gonna have some. Yeah, we're gonna swap Santa. We're gonna do a little cinema Santa, and then 2020 we got a whole bunch of things, whole bunch of fucking podcast.
Yeah, but we can tease 2020 in our December episode.
Alrighty, but hey, keep your eye to the ground, pay attention, check behind every curtain. Don't go down the spooky staircase there.
If they are keeping their eyes on the ground. If their eyes are on the ground, they're just fucked, dude. Just close your eyes and accept everything.
Yeah. Just go to sleep. Take a nap. Freddy's not going to get you. 1, 2, this episode's pretty poo. 3, 4. Boop. Our rating's pretty poor.
Oh. Our rating.
Hey, check us out. Check us out on the socials. All that's in the description below. Check us out on Facebook. Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, Letterboxd. David's still kicking around on AOL Messenger. You can check him out there.
I actually do have an AOL Messenger. I still have a 4-character password. No special letters. All numbers.
I'm trying to bring David to the modern digital age, and I can't do that without the support of all of our wonderful patrons. Go ahead and become a patron today. Get David off AOL Messenger, please, for the love of God. He texted me the other day. He's like, "La Rage?"
I don't even know.
And he's like, "That's a fun new thing, Ethan. La Rage comics." And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna die." And then he said to me, "Hey, got any grapes?" And I was like, "No, you fucking don't. David, you're so behind. You're so behind on memes.
I don't even know what you're saying.
You're so behind on memes." He's like, Hey, I got a cool new website for you. CoolMathGames.com. And I was like, "No, it's not new.
I don't know what any of this stuff
It's not a
is.
new website." He's like, Hey, have you heard about LimeWire? I got so many free...
Dude,
I got so many
LimeWire?
free,
Super solid.
free Backstreet Boys songs.
Frostwire was also pretty interesting.
All right, check us out on Frostwire. Check us out on Patreon.
Yo, dude, if our episodes were on Frostwire, I'd feel like we made it. Like, we're already offering this for free. But somebody was like,
email at featurecastquestions.
Do you want to pronounce that? Do you want to pronounce that?
Feature
cast?
featurecastquestions@gmail.com. Send us an email about anything. David might give you a Blu-ray. Anything can happen.
I got a whole shelf of Blu-rays I'm going to do for giveaways, and maybe even the Godzilla Criterion. Oh, the single one, not the entire big one, because I bought the big one.
I'll send you an email.
But I bought the big one, and I have the original one already on Criterion, so it's like, do I just keep both?
I don't brag about it. It's fine.
I'm bragging about it.
Hey, actually, I have to pay for a lot of big, bad car repairs right now, so actually become a patron, because, we fucking need money, y'all. I have to fucking pay, $4,000 to fix my car.
Holy shit. Is that not
fun.
just totaled?
No.
Jesus, fuck me. Oh, I got a quarter.
Yeah, that's fun.
I just got a new car.
I hate you.
But I've already in like 2.5 weeks done over 1,000 miles. I'm like, I'm going to blow my lease mileage so quick.
You know what the scariest thing of all this season? Not being able to end this episode.
Oh, yeah. Shit.
Ooh.
I tried
have
to...
a safe Halloween, everybody.
Yeah.
You know, if you're gonna drink responsibly. Have a fun time. Don't pull any too mean of pranks on any fun people. You know, a light prank is fine.
I love how we're ending this in a fucking PSA.
People are. And if somebody comes up to you and says, "Hey, you want any drugs?" Say, "How much?" And if he offers a fair price, fucking run. Bye.
If we just end it there?
Is that the end?
That's the end. We're ending it there. End it. End it.
All right. And then we died. Oh no, there's a slasher in my house. I gotta go deal with him. He's gonna. Remember me.
You know what's really weird is that you're gonna end this episode on you dying, and then next episode you're not even in the episode. So it's gonna be like, where do Ethan go? Bye. Ethan? Ethan, you there? I guess you have to go take care of something. Ethan? Ethan? Ethan, where'd you go?
Ethan's been dead for 40 years.
Ethan's not even 40 years old, you fucking stupid golem.
It's the end of the podcast when there's something bad and the podcast needs to end. Who are you gonna call? Podcast enders.
This has been the most painful podcast ending I've ever been a part of.
An invisible man
Ethan got up easy with the fucking
sleeping
bed.
in your bed.
Woo! I'm gonna go to Zombie Pub Crawl.
Podcast enders.